We won't know what time, just me more. Now that's none of my business. In my emotions, going through these photos while I go through the motions. Going through
What they say? Welcome back, welcome back.
welcome back.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another day, another vlog. If you tuned in, I appreciate you because you the real MVP. My name is Stacey Lene. If this is your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So today we're doing a get ready with me. I'm just about to beat this face. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Hopefully y'all been doing good out there. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how y'all week been going. Y'all weekend, y'all. We almost in Taurus season. Or are we in Taurus season already? I don't know, I'm a Pisces, but I know one thing. Y'all gotta stop having kids back to back in the same month because baby, the way I be trying to do Kardashian parties on my budget, yeah. Wanna know what I'm talking about? Hopefully watch my last vlog. If not, the link will be up here somewhere. Now, before some of y'all come for me in the comments about what I have on my head, listen, honey. It's not about the hair, it's about the face right now. Okay, so I did ask you guys to ask me some questions for this Get Ready With Me, and I have a few questions, so shout out to y'all. So the first question is, how do I make my wig lay flat? And it's very simple.
You gotta make sure them cornrows or that hair is flat underneath, baby.
Okay, that is the golden key. So what I do, because I am not a pro, I braid my hair into some cornrows, you know, as far as I can get them. Some people just brush their hair back to the back and put it in a ponytail, but my hair a little thick, so I can't do that. So I have to put it in cornrows, and then I put my little thing on, and then I just put the wig on. If your lace is lifting, you probably didn't put enough glue on. What I do is I'll do one layer. I put my stocking cap on. So I braid my hair. I put my stocking cap on. If I have it got to be glue spray, I'll spray it around my edges, and I'll spray it on the cap. And I usually put the cap about a ½ inch over my forehead because
Your girl has a forehead.
and then I'll let it dry a little till it's tacky, and then I put my lace on, and then I'll put glue on the lace or spray depending on how long I want to keep the wig on, and that usually helps. Oh, don't forget to tie it down. Or if you have a hair dryer, I usually don't use the hair dryer, but if you have it handy, go ahead and use that. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Okay, so this next question is, how can I wipe you up? I'm appalled that you're even interested. First off, we have to have some type of connection, some type of mental connection, physical connection, some type of attraction needs to be there first off. Our vibe has to align, so if we're vibing out, I can hang out with you. That's a good start. We have conversation. Can I learn something from you? There's nothing more enticing than a man who can teach me something, honey. I mean, I can teach you a thing or two as well, but I'm just saying. So, sprinkle, sprinkle. The next question is crew neck or hoodie? Baby, you know I like the hoodies. It's the winter, of course a hoodie, you know. People like to look comfortable. I think guys who wear hoodies, well, I really don't think much of guys who wear hoodies, to be honest. But a crew neck, baby, let me tell you, that crew neck, you can see their little chest. You can see they've been working out working hard for the summer, which is 50 days away. And you can see those biceps, those triceps, honey. So just like men, women are visual as well. Don't let us fool you now. Okay, the first sign of attraction is the looks, baby. And the looks include the face in the body. Just saying. Okay, so I brought y'all in a little bit closer because we are about to beat this face, honey. So we're about to do a story time. So I came across this story on TikTok about the Casey Anthony story. Now, if you're not familiar with Casey Anthony, it was like one of the biggest trials that ever happened. It was around the O.J. Simpson case. Casey Anthony had a daughter named Kaylee. Kaylee was 2 years old. Casey's mom was a nurse and her dad was a police officer. Now, they never mentioned who Kaylee's father was, but I'll tell you what the speculations were later in the story. So, Casey lived in Florida. Casey liked to party a lot. I mean, party. She was like, you want the kid? Here she go. Oh, you want the kid for a weekend? You can take her. Oh, you want to keep her for a week? That's cool. She was one of those parents. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Especially if you're a grandparent that don't mind having your child. I don't see nothing wrong with it. They said it was like around 30 days that they didn't hear or see Kaylee, which is strange because when you got a mother who want to go out every weekend, you usually have their child a lot. So the mom asked Casey, hey, you know, where's Kaylee? I haven't seen her in a while. So Casey goes on to tell the parents, oh, Kaylee's fine. She's with the babysitter. Now the parents, who, mind you, have always been the babysitter, are surprised, you know. I mean, on one end, it's probably like, oh, okay, she's taking some of the responsibility off of us, being responsible and finding the babysitter. On the other hand, when the mother got to asking, well, who is the babysitter? Casey says, Zany. Zany turns out to be a nickname. The babysitter's real name was Zendaya Fernandez Gonzalez, aka Zany. Okay. Well, after 31 days, the parents are like, okay, well, that's cool and all, but we still want to see our granddaughter. Now, here are some key facts. One fact is, Casey loved a party. Second fact is, Casey's living babysitters, or her go-to, were always the parents. Third fact is, everybody apparently knew that this girl was irresponsible. So the fact that she found a babysitter on her own was like, kudos to you, girlfriend. Kudos to you for stepping up to the plate. And everything probably went fine according to plan, except for Casey, who was irresponsible, got her car repoed. The car was in the parents' name or registered to the parents' home. So the repo people called the parents like, hey, we need you to come pick the car. Mind you, Casey never mentioned if the car was impounded, which was a red flag because for somebody who heavily depends on their parents, the first people you're gonna call when your car get repoed are your parents or whoever getting you out of certain situations. So the story goes, the dad, George, who's a cop, goes to pick up the car. When he picks up the car, he goes in the trunk. It says it smells like a dead body. So he gets home, he tells the wife. The wife goes outside, who's a nurse, and says the same thing. Except instead of the wife calling somebody else to tell them or calling Casey to ask her what the hell, the wife calls the police. This is where it gets juicy. So Cindy, who's Casey's mom, calls the cops and like, hey, we haven't seen our granddaughter in 31 days. We picked up our daughter's car. It smells like a dead body. The mom was like freaking out, right? So the cops come to wherever Casey was. And then for some odd reason, they ask Casey, you know, show us where you work. So Casey comes up with this elaborate plan to tell the people she worked at Universal Studios. For whatever reason, they say, okay, well, take us to your job. So Casey takes these cops to Universal Studios. It gets a little strange because when they pull up to the security, you know, the cops are like, hey, we're here to ask some questions. We have Casey in the car with us. You know, we need to come through. verify her employment or whatever. I don't know what they said. But the security guards looks on this list that they have, you know, employees only, of course, and they say, we don't have a Casey Anthony. That should have been red flag number one. Well, you know what? Some people are really blessed with the tongue, with words, because baby, you know how they say some people lead a well to water and then charge them for the water, or however the saying goes. Some people are gifted like that. Turns out Casey was one of these people. Casey somehow persuades the guards, the security guards, to let her in. So they let her in, right? So allegedly, story goes, she's walking through the building, she's seeing her co-workers. She's waving to them, and the co-workers are looking like,
Hey girl.
you know. And she walks on through. Well, it gets strange because she can only walk so much. She walks into a dead end. Turns around, tells the cops, you know what? I actually don't work here. So at this point, the cops are like,
why would you say that? Like, why?
so the cops are like, okay, well, why don't you show us where this babysitter, Zany, lives? So Casey goes on to this two-story apartment complex. She points up to this apartment on the second floor in the corner and says, oh, she lives right there. So the cops are like, oh yeah, let's ask this lady some questions because this one right here is wasting our time and taxpayer money. So they go to the manager. They say, yeah, we need to go and check on this Zany Gonzalez Fernandez lady, right? In apartment 227. The manager's like, I mean, I can go open up for you, but no one's lived in that apartment for months. Red flag number two. So at this point, the cops are like, you know what? I don't know what's going on here, but you're not about to waste any more of our time or taxpayers' money, and something's not right. We're taking you down to the station. So she goes down to the station, they lock her up, whatever, and of course, the parents come down. The mom's still frantic. She's like, you know what? I don't even care that you lied about where you worked or where the lady lived, but where is the lady, because we want our grandbaby. Now, Casey allegedly gets pissed off. Pissed off because apparently her parents were more concerned about where the grandbaby was more than,
Hey, I'm your daughter and I'm here behind bars. Oh, and they're probably gonna accuse me of doing something to my daughter pretty soon.
and of course, when you come from a family of spoiled children, what is it that the parents always do? It's like, oh no, no, no. We love you. We're just concerned about, where our granddaughter is. This zany woman has kidnapped her. We have no idea where she is. She could be here. She could be there. We don't know. But we love you. We're just more concerned about our granddaughter right now. So Casey sticks with her story about her daughter being, I should just take these out. Her daughter being with the babysitter, Zany, and even though she's behind bars, the police went to the apartment. There was nothing there. Casey tells the parents,
Don't worry, she's with the babysitter. She's fine. I know she's fine.
Casey probably would have been able to stick to that story, except for there was a maintenance guy cable guy, something, I don't know. He was in the neighborhood, you know, doing his normal rounds or whatnot. Even he has to relieve himself. So he pulls over in the forest or the bushes to relieve himself. He looks over, he sees a garbage bag, and guess what's in the garbage bag? Now, around January 2008 is when they found the remains of Kaylee Anthony, which the remains were wrapped in a garbage bag, and there was tape, duct tape, across her mouth, right? Well, allegedly, there was also a sticker on top of the tape. Now, the story goes, you know, because Casey was trying to be more responsible and did not depend on her parents for so much, she gave the girl some chlorophyll, you know, to knock her out for a while so that she can go party, right? But if you're thinking how I'm thinking, I'm like, why would you give her chlorophyll and not just give her some Benadryl or something? You know, or whatever the parents give kids these days to have an early daddy mommy night. So some people say she gave her some chlorophyll to knock her out, you know, and then she wrapped her mouth with the tape in case she woke up, you know, in distraught, screaming in the car, in the trunk of the car. Casey could still party a little, you know. Yeah. So Casey gets booked, lands in jail, trial starts, right? Well, in July 2011, after 400 pieces of evidence and testimonies, Casey Anthony was found not guilty. Well, in January 2011, after 6 weeks of delegation and over 400 pieces of evidence, Casey Anthony is found not guilty. Now, here's where a good defense lawyer comes in, right? So Casey Anthony's defense lawyer, you know, he could see shit was about to hit the fan, right? I mean, the evidence is there. The dad picks up the car, says he smells a dead body. He's a cop. The mom, who's a nurse, who's been around plenty of dead bodies, says, hey, you know what? This does smell like a dead body. Then the fact that she lured the police to Universal Studios just to tell them she didn't work there was a red flag. Then the zany woman, who she said lived in the apartments, which the manager confirmed, the apartment's been empty for months, which means if Kaylee was with the Zanny, it would have been more than 31 days since the grandparents had saw the girl. So there's that. Yeah, so shit was crazy. It almost makes me think, like, if it was someone else, would they have got that much leeway? Because I'm telling you, when she said she didn't work at Universal Studios, that would have been enough for me. But she had a good defense lawyer. Now, the defense lawyer, he said, you know what? We have all this evidence here, but did she really do it? I mean, did you see her do it? Because if you didn't see her do it, did she do it? I mean, he didn't say it in those exact words, but you could literally go to YouTube and look up the Casey Anthony case, and that's pretty much what he said. And mind you, the case took place in Florida. So, you know, no one really wants to admit that a woman would kill her child on purpose because she wanted to party. But I guess on accident, you know, there's some leeway there. So yeah, her defense attorney pretty much said, you know, if you weren't there to see it, it probably didn't happen. Then he came up with an even more crazier story that It was George, the dad. The dad did it. Well, allegedly, the cops could track back that Casey Anthony and Kaylee were actually at the parents' house the day that Kaylee came up missing. Not only could they track that they were at the house, but they also tracked that someone with Casey's password to her MySpace. Yeah, that tells you how long ago this story was, what era this was. But Casey's MySpace was used at her parents' house. Then somebody looked up, how to a body, which it really wouldn't make any sense for the father to do it, being that he was a cop, I'm sure he's seen some stuff. But when you think about it, being that he is a cop, he could have conjured up a good story. Well, get this. So the defense attorney says, yeah, it was George. Casey said that her dad molested her, which I don't recall them ever mentioning who the father was. So there's that. But the cops could track that Casey and Kaylee were both at the parents' house that day. They went swimming. And allegedly, the story for the defense was Casey and her dad had, a little issues, a little drama or whatnot. Well, they had went swimming, and Cindy, the mom, lost track of Kaylee. Kaylee drowns in the pool, and then they call the dad. The dad comes home, covers it up, leaves for work. When he gets to work, he calls the house. It was like a few seconds. It was like 30-second phone call or whatnot. And the cops think that phone call was George confirming to Casey that everything was taken care of. I don't know. Honestly, in 2023, I don't put anything past anyone, Let me know what you think, what your theory is, because I think that it's pretty possible that Casey wanted to go party. She was like, I'm just gonna give her a little, or she could have left Kaylee with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend gave her a little something and was like, oh snaps, Casey, we got a problem here. Casey calls her dad, tells her dad this is what happened, and said that she's the one, as in Casey, is the one who gave Kaylee the, a little something. And George, the dad, helped Casey cover it up, leaving the mom out because they know how sensitive the mom is. She probably wasn't going to be with the shits. And that's why she was so frantic and so urgent on finding Kaylee. I don't know. I don't know about the drowning part, just because it's like, well, why did the trunk smell like that? Who knows? Either way, it's a sad story. But yeah, that is the Casey Anthony story. Not the whole story, but you're more than welcome to go, Google it and YouTube it yourself. But that's what you're going to get from this Get Ready to Me, because your girl is done. Okay, guys, so this is my final look. Hopefully you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you heard about the Casey Anthony story, or if you read the book, or caught up on the documentary, and if she had any new details that could be verified, because she probably had a lot of new details knowing her. But yeah, Let me know if you guys like these. Get ready with me. And until next time, peace.
See you. I know who you are, and you know who I am.
Yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Bitches get money all around the world.